Hey there, I'm Sarah Zarella, a portrait and wedding photographer and your host for Wedding Secrets Unveiled. This is a podcast where we cut through the complexity of wedding planning, leaving you with everything you need to know directly from the industry experts. If you want to simplify your wedding planning while having fun, of course, you came to the right place. Join me while I guide you through your planning, starting from your engagement to your big day when you say, I do. After photographing for over 20 years, I am sharing with you tips and tricks to cut through the excess noise. Because I believe from the moment you said yes, your planning experience should be a magical time in your life. Here you'll find episodes that are fun, stress-free, and straight to the point with a fresh, honest take on the reality of what you really need to know about planning your perfect day. Let's dive in. Welcome back to Wedding Secrets Unveiled podcast, friends. I'm your host, Sarah Zarella, and today is a two-part podcast. So we're coming at you today, and then 2 weeks from now, we'll have part two because we had so much information coming your way. So we've listened and we've heard. You have all wrote into the show. We have a contact page at sarahzarella.com/podcast. So feel free to use that. Also hit us up on Instagram. When you send us messages about questions and topics that you want us to cover, we listen to you. So today's episode is a Q&A. And it's all the questions that you have wrote into us, and we are giving you our thoughts on those topics. So it's a very random, fun episode, and I am excited to share this episode with you all. We have Kathryn, our studio manager, on. We will also have Abby Prescott, who is the owner of Blush and Coral Hospitality. So if you want just an enjoyable podcast episode of some random question and answering, this is the podcast for you. Well, welcome back to Wedding Secrets Unveiled podcast, friends. I'm your host, Sarah Zarella, and we are joined today with two very special ladies. So for our listeners, just go down the line, tell us who you are and what you do.
Sure, yeah. So I'm Kathryn, and I am the studio manager for Sarah Zarella Photography. So I have the pleasure of listening to all of our podcasts, usually twice at least. So I do a lot of the back end stuff for the podcast. And one of my newest projects is that we are launching on YouTube. So make sure to check us out on our YouTube page. It's the Sarah Zarella Photography YouTube. Zarella's 2 R's and 2 L's. And then it's the Wedding Secrets Unveiled podcast playlist. So you can go back and listen to all our episodes and now watch the new ones. So you get to see some of the behind the scenes shenanigans stuff.
And I'm just going to interject here for a second. This has really been your baby. Kathryn spends a lot of time doing this, so we appreciate your support.
Thanks.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's fun to actually be here, be on this side of it.
Fair.
Well, congratulations on your baby. That's very exciting.
Yes.
My name is Abby Prescott. I'm an event planner based out of Newport, Rhode Island. I specialize in wedding day coordination, partial planning for weddings, and bachelorette parties. So lots of fun stuff.
Love it. And I think, too, for
Mm.
our listeners, what's really important, and I know you just kind of stuck it in there, but I really want to say it, is that you focus also on bachelorette parties. Not a lot of people do that.
Yes.
Yes. So that's kind of fun, too.
Yes,
because
it's
a
really
lot
fun.
of, especially in this area of the country, a lot of people make their travel here a weekend affair.
Yes, absolutely. People come for multiple days. They want to have it be easy and stress-free, and that's what I do.
I love that.
Yeah, it's
Well,
so fun.
welcome,
Thank you.
ladies.
So happy to be here.
So great.
So we're going to talk a little bit of today. We're just going to have a Q&A episode, right? Like,
Yeah, some questions that, our listeners and you guys have sent in, and questions we get a lot. So,
and we've heard you, so here we are.
yeah.
So for our listeners, please keep sending questions in. We have a contact form on our website page just for the podcast. So if you ever want to hear anything, send that right in. And also, too, on Instagram. We hear you. And we always answer anybody who writes in. We'll sometimes even go so far to make a show of it, right? So here we are.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
All right. So we're just going to have rapid fire questions.
All right, let's do it.
All right.
Sounds great.
All right. So a couple of questions I have right here that came in, and my heart aches for the first one. It says, is a wedding worth it? Who wants to? Okay, well, you know what we'll do? We'll go like down the row,
Okay,
right?
perfect,
So it goes
perfect.
Kathryn, and if you don't want to weigh in, you just say pass.
Yeah.
All right,
We'll go
sounds
right
good.
to Abby, and then I'll weigh in at the end because I have a lot to say.
Yeah, sounds great. I personally thought the same thing myself. I got married in 2021, so it was like we were exiting COVID times, kind of, and it was in the summer, luckily, so we had an outdoor wedding, so it was fine. But I was debating the same thing myself, like is it more fun and cheaper and, more what I want to elope or to have the party? And my husband, funny enough, we're both huge people, but he was like, I really want to get everyone together and like throw a party. And I'm so grateful that he did because like I'm from Kentucky, he's from Rhode Island, and we had our wedding in Rhode Island, but I have friends all over the country. Like I've had a lot of friends in, the Navy and stuff from living around here. So, I had 8 people in my wedding party and not a single one of them lives in Rhode Island anymore. So I am so glad that I have these pictures of the whole crew together, and that was truly the best day. And I know people say that all the time, but just to be surrounded by love and celebrating this new milestone in, my life and our marriage, and it was just so good. But also, we did a lot of fun things. We prioritized fun, so we were not bogged down by tradition, or we didn't have a lot of family obligation. Our family was also really, really sweet and very helpful. But
I think it can be really, like you said, like you can consider,
yeah,
is it worth it? I'm currently in the thick of planning my own
2025
bride, and I'm like, oh my goodness, is all this stress, is all this money worth it? And I'm realizing that it totally is. I just had my bridal shower this past weekend, and having people all in the same room, like you said, from out of town, from in town, family, friends, having everybody in the same room just really warmed my heart. It made me really excited for the big day. I think it puts everything into perspective. Sometimes you get, you're 6 months out and you're like, I'm losing sight of the end of this. Why are we doing this? But then when you see the people that you love so much all in one place, I saw people that were from my family, from my childhood, interacting with my college friends, and I was like, wow, that is so special. This just would not have happened without this.
Yeah.
So I want to validate the brides who are in the thick of it, who are like, this is crazy. Is this worth it? Because I really do think it is. And then on the professional side, of course, this is what we do for a living, but we only do it because we love it and we see the benefits that the couples get from doing it and from putting the effort and the energy in. It really comes down to, like you said, like just the best day ever. Even if it's not perfect, even if things happen, if there's bumps in the road and it's, there's moments of, just stress or whatever it is, it's still totally worth it. So validating the feelings, but I really do think it is.
I just want to say something. We match really well. We didn't plan this.
Hey, look at
It's
that.
like white shirt stripes, and then Abby, you're tying in the colors. I like
just
that.
do it. It was just a
Perfect.
feeling.
That's for us. Okay, so you both have said it perfectly, so I don't even need to say anything. But I have to because I'm so compelled about this one question. Everything you said is exactly true. I do love the fact that, Abby, you said like you want to validate the actual thought process. And it sounds like, Kathryn, you went through that yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, I think feeling that is something that everybody feels at some time in their planning process, because here's the thing. We don't always plan something like this. This is the only time we plan something like this. So if you would be an expert of this, then you would be a planner. Right?
Yeah, totally.
And the reason why, like you said, also for what you've said, Abby, is that there's a reason why us three are here in the industry, because it's something that we've seen the reward on the other end, on the side. And so we see the outcome, and we do see why it's worth it. People who don't go through it won't see why it's worth it. So,
Exactly.
Kathryn, what you were saying, if you didn't do like what Justin wanted and only what you wanted, right? You would have never saw why it's worth it, right?
Totally.
So with all of that, I mean, I can sit here and talk to the listeners and talk to you guys about why it's worth it, but we all already know, and you've already told them. I'm going to say something on the other side of the spectrum, though, of why it's worth it, and it could be like a little more like morbid. And I'm sorry, I'm like going down this road.
I know where you're going,
but it's such. I have to.
Yeah, you got to.
It's such a reality, especially. So I've been married for 10 years now, right? So you've been married for how long now, Kathryn? You're
almost
close.
4.
Yeah. Okay. So you're about halfway, and then you're about to be married. So So, I mean, I haven't been married long, but 10 years, okay? So I'm not a newlywed. And I have a family now. I'm blessed with 3 beautiful children. So, you know, I guess my point is I'm farther away from planning the wedding, right? And I have realized that that was the last time and the first time that I have gotten everybody that I love in one room and that my husband loved in one room. We have since been to other occasions where we've gotten close, right? Like, you know, if it's another family member or a cousin or a bestie, like we're gotten the group close, but not everybody, right? Because at the end of the day, you'll never get the people that you and your spouse have in one room. Here's the other thing. Life is full of, you know, ups and downs, and I don't want to sound that way, but I mean, what are we all doing here, right? Like, seriously, what are we all doing here? Like, you know, we all go to work, or, you know, and sure, we're making money to do what with? Like, we don't take the money with us when we leave, right? We're making the money to create a life, right? And what is life? Like, life is special moments with those that you love, right? So is the wedding worth it? Absolutely. It's one of the only times, and if that the only time, that you will be able to have a celebration. There is so many days that are not filled with celebrations, and there's I mean, this is the time to celebrate. Like, this is it, right?
For sure. Yeah.
So, I mean, I could go off on a whole other episode of that, but I just want you to say, like, is it worth it? I think it is.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And and I had a thought while you were talking. You can also do both. You can elope and then just throw like a low-key party, you know, like a reception, but it doesn't have to be like as you know, and do that. It, you know,
financially, though, that might end up being about the same.
Correct.
So, you know,
correct.
And also, too, it's like, I mean, is it worth it? I think people are saying, I mean, and there's nothing wrong with the traditions. Like, if you are, like, you know, like we talked a little bit about like having non-traditional wedding, but there is nothing wrong with the traditions. Like, sometimes the traditions are, you know, there's the reason why they're a staple, they're a tradition. And then like also having something I mean, I think the question is more like what's right for you.
Exactly.
But I will say, if you are starting to feel like, is it worth it? 100%. I promise you it is. Like, I just recently, in my own personal life, my brother has not been married before and his fiance has, right? And so they had a wedding plan for actually
I just realized, sorry. Yeah.
It's actually today. Was there ready?
Wow.
Right.
Yeah.
No. Well, the day that we're taping, it's going to be, well, not today, but this week.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Wow.
That's so
Can you
ironic.
imagine
That's
if
crazy.
they had a wedding this week? Yeah. Wow.
They called it off, not because they're splitting up or anything, just because they're in the weeds. I mean, like two small babies. You know, obviously she was having some, is it worth it with the finances and whatnot. So they called off the wedding, but they have, it's more of a postponement because ultimately they are going to have it again. So they're pre-planning that and moving forward, and just a better time when their boys are just a little older. I mean, one of our boys is only 6 months old. So it's just, exactly. But with pausing it and then reevaluating it, they still came back with like, it is, because again, it's just, there's so many moments in life that should be celebrated, and there's times when you have a great reason, and this is a great reason. So, okay,
Absolutely.
all right, moving on.
Yeah.
All right, the next one.
The list.
We are getting married on 6/6/26. Is that bad luck? And what are some actual bad luck signs for a wedding?
Ooh.
Do you want to start?
I mean, I can start. I don't think that 6/6/26 is gonna necessarily be a bad omen.
I don't think so
you
either.
know,
So
Well, there's a 2 in there, so it's not really 666.
No.
There's
yeah,
a 2.
There's a 2. It's
There's
fine.
two.
And it's
You're
also
fine.
2026, so it's 6/6/2026.
Correct. There's so many
There's
other.
a lot of numbers in between.
And it's really June 6.
Yeah,
Right.
2026.
correct. Yeah,
Right.
it's
Right.
it's fine. I think you're okay. I'm attending a wedding on a Friday the 13th this year
Oh,
as a
cool.
guest, and I'm like, is that a bad omen? I'm like, I don't think so. I think they're fine, but
Well, I chime in here for a second.
Yeah.
So, my husband was married before, and I mean, people are like, really? Because people know us, because like, I think he blinked and he was married and divorced. I mean, it was the shortest wedding. I mean, like,
yeah.
they were met, married, and divorced all within a year. So,
Whoa.
yeah. He got married on a 13th.
Hey, it happens.
Yeah,
Date
yes.
was 13.
That's so funny.
Yeah, so I mean, that's one side of the coin. But the other side of the coin is I have some very dear and near friends in my life who've gotten married on the date of 13, and one was a Friday, and they are so happily married.
Yeah,
so
like-
it's and they wanted that date.
Yes, that's
because
so funny.
to them, people say that it's bad luck omen. They're like, not to us, it's a good luck. So there's that.
Yeah, no,
yeah, I don't think there's anything that you could make everything into a bad sign, or you could make nothing into a bad sign. Like it's kind of your thought process,
that's a very
where
good point.
your head is at. If you're looking for the signs that this isn't right, you're gonna find them.
Yes.
Yeah,
and
So it's not right. If you're looking for those signs,
No,
it's not right. Pick another
I
date.
hate to be like that, but if you're like, oh, every time I turn around there's a sign. Okay, maybe you take those
Maybe
signs.
you
take those
Maybe
signs.
you take them. Okay?
That's not
right.
right.
I'm kind of being funny, but like, I don't know. I think anything can be a good sign. Anything can be a bad sign, truly. And it's just what you make of it. If it rains on your wedding day, go and dance in it. Like, just embrace it and just have fun, so that kind of thing.
Well, I got a story about
Maybe
the
not
rain
the
thing.
photographer. Maybe
But
the photographer probably wouldn't.
no. I mean, I laughed at it because it rained on my wedding day, and I danced in it. So it's
Amazing. Yeah, I
fine.
love that.
And I got a great marriage. But here's the thing. It's funny because as I was reading this question, 6/6/26.
Yeah.
That's actually, it's funny. I would think the opposite. That was a very popular date. I'm getting a lot of inquiries for that date
Yes.
because people love numbers.
Yeah.
Yes.
So they love the unity of the numbers.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. So on the other side of the coin, if it could be a good omen.
Yeah.
Yeah,
for sure.
Exactly.
Yeah. Because I mean, I still remember the wedding that Dan and I shot on 11/11/11.
Yeah.
I know it doesn't have the sixes in it, but I'm just saying people love numbers.
do.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Going on.
Yeah.
What is the best way to get a photo? What is the best way to get photos of everyone at your wedding? Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah. I mean, you can.
You go.
Okay.
We're gonna keep going around the table. You always
Okay.
go first. Sorry to put you on the spot,
Perfect.
Kathryn. You
No, it's
sat
fine.
there.
I mean, yeah, there's, a couple ways to do this. Obviously there's, everybody to the dance floor, big group photo. And that's fun. Especially if your venue has like a balcony or something that like the photographer can stand up there. I really wish I'd gotten a photo of everybody at our wedding. And just to kind of circle back to why it's worth it. This is again kind of morbid, but I had a friend pass away a couple months after our wedding, and she's in a couple photos, but I wish that she was in more, and so I really think that this is really, really important to communicate with your photographer about wanting guests in photos. And a lot of, the good photographers will do that anyways, but especially if that's something that you really want to prioritize, just communicate with them. But and they'll probably have their preferences for how to do this. But the other option is there's a couple different ways to do this, is like the photo dash or something, and your DJ kind of like leads that. Maybe you guys could speak to a little bit more about how that kind of works. But you can
Kathryn loves trends, just so you know.
That was also my hot take. Was like, I like trends. I
Kathryn
think they're
loves
fun. I think they're
She loves
fun.
trends. But yes, that is a trend. Photo dash. You can
Mhm.
Google it. We've also talked about it on other podcast episodes. So that is a way to do it.
Yeah.
Also, too, obviously, the large group photo is a way to do it. And if you have a seasoned photographer who understands like what you're doing here, they should be doing this stuff anyway. There's so many different. There's called Grip and Grins, which is at cocktail hour, where we, as a photographer, get groups of people together and they grip. They put their arms around each other and they grin. They smile. And so they're getting pictures. You can go to table shots. You could do the traditional table shots, which is everybody at the table, one table. It's that. I mean, again, traditions are great because guess what? All of those people are probably groups of friends or one big family.
Yeah.
Right.
So you could get that way. Or you could get couples at each table. You could do the photo dash, which is in essence just, the DJ plays a song and the couple goes to each table really quickly and the photographer finds them and takes pictures. There are so many ways to get photos of people. I mean, I can tell you right now, at the weddings that we do, where we have a lot of ways that we make sure we get at least a photo or two of everybody there, even if they don't dance.
Yeah. Yeah.
My first tip was going to be hire a good photographer.
There you go.
It was just hire a good photographer because
Done.
they will be able to help you come up with ideas that are unique to you and don't stress you out, because to be honest, the table dash sounds stressful to me.
Yes.
So personally, for me, that wouldn't work. But I had a friend do that, and she was laughing the whole time, had a great time.
That sounds
Yes.
stressful. In execution, ultimately, it's a little stressful.
Yeah.
But there are certain people who love that because they
Yeah.
want to just be running around. But at my wedding, what we did, and it's one of the most cherished pictures that I have, and it's like a main spread in my album, is right after we went down the aisle. Obviously, there's natural ways. So that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Hire a photographer. They could talk
Yeah,
to you
Totally.
about what's right. There's
Totally.
a couple natural ways that work. Since I'm just kind of rambling about this, but here's some free advice, right?
I mean that we are on a podcast about giving wedding
So
advice.
there you go. There we go. All right, so free advice. Thanks, Kathryn. That's why we're here, right? Natural ways. You can have after your first dance, your DJ can ask, or sorry, not after your first dance. While dinner is when dinner is done, you can ask everybody to come to your dance floor for a group photo. It gets people up out of their seats. They're digesting. It gets them moving a little bit so they can get that second wind to start dancing, right? The photographer takes a group shot at on the dance floor, and then right there, the DJ or the band goes into a fast song. Well, what you just did is you got people up, got them stretching a little bit, and then got their dance mojo on, and then they're on the dance floor and get them on the dance floor. That's one very natural way. It takes the spotlight off the couple too.
Yep.
Another natural way that my husband and I did, and that you have to, certain venues do not lend itself to do this, obviously. Some venues do, but after we got married, we went down the aisle, and then everybody who was coming down the aisle, my photographer was stopping them and putting them together as a group shot while we were signing our marriage license. So it was a natural flow.
Yeah.
And then we popped in for the group shot, and he was on a ladder. I provided a ladder for him, and it's a nice aerial shot. You also can do drone footage and whatnot, but that's, again, hire a photographer, and I will talk to you. If you hire me, I will talk you through this whole scenario.
Yeah, for real.
Exactly.
Okay. All right, next one. What little items do I need to provide for the wedding decor? Card box, pens, guest book, etc. That might be more Abby.
Yeah, I got you on this one. Well, really, it depends on what is important to you. Like, if you really want there to be, if you have a photo booth, getting a picture book where those photos can go so they don't just walk away is something that I've noticed in recent weddings.
Ooh, if you hire Rocky Booth, shameless plug, my photo booth company, we provide you a scrapbook.
Yes, they do, and it comes out really cute. So definitely something like that. As a planner, what I do is I kind of think through the day and what those little things are. So starting with even before, like when you're getting ready, do you need to have a letter from the groom? Is there something? And then I kind of walk them through every part of the day, and what's important to them is what they'll have. If you don't care about custom napkins, if you don't care about a custom card box, that's okay. But I would kind of work through the day and think about it piece by piece. What do I need for the ceremony? What do I need to actually get down the aisle, have the ceremony happen, and walk out? Break it down into smaller chunks, because you'll be able to actually picture yourself and be like, what would I reach for? What would my guests reach for? And what do I actually want there? Some people have everything personalized, every little detail, everywhere you look, there's a little thing. And some people, it's not important to them. So walk through the day, think about what you want, and also think about what you've seen at other weddings that you were like, oh, that's so fun. I'm so glad that was here. Or, in the bathroom, like if you've used one of those bathroom kits before, make a bathroom kit. But some people, it's not important. So I think walk through the day, see what you would want there, and see what you would want your guests to have and what's important to you.
I think that's great advice, because physically walk through it in your mind.
Yeah.
Arrive there as a guest. Go through, like you said, in little chunks, arrive as a guest, then get out, then go to the ceremony, in your brain, and see what's important. Start jotting it down.
Yeah. Even just what you said reminded me, when I get to a wedding, sometimes I've been in the car for an hour and a half. I need to use the bathroom.
Right.
Where is the bathroom? Do I know how to find the bathroom? If the bathroom's on the other side of the building and I'm not going to be able to find it, maybe you get a little bathroom sign, or you have someone there standing there saying, greeting your guests, and then the guests can say, where's the bathroom?
Where's the bathroom?
It's just little stuff like that. So I would take it step by step and just walk through the day and see in your venue, because you know it best, where are the needs going to be and what do I want?
Let's try to get through one more before we take our break, okay? What is something from your wedding that you still use or display, and what just gets tossed into a box?
Ooh, I'll defer to you guys because I'm not married yet, but I do have some
Fair.
thoughts. So you go first.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, for me, there's a couple things. I did all the flowers for my own wedding. So a lot of them were dried or silk flowers. And I think they looked pretty good. But I still have some of them hung up as decorations in my
Cool.
home. And then I have my bouquet, obviously, because it was also dried. So I have that.
Oh, and we
And
have a couple of people who are on the podcast that can
yes.
talk about what to do with your flowers if you're looking for something to do with that.
Yes.
Yeah.
So check it out.
Yep.
Keep an eye out. And then I thrifted plates that we
Oh,
served our
yeah.
cake on. So it's this like set that I just found like hundreds of plates, bowls, like things. And I still use some of those plates and things.
I
So
love that.
yeah.
We use there was like being in the industry when I got married, there was a lot of like little details, little decor that I just loved, that I just kind of did just because it made me happy, right? So we had like a Mr. and Mrs. Like our silverware had like our Mr. and Mrs. on it, and a
Cute.
spoon, and like, I spoon you, and like cute
Yeah.
little things.
Yeah.
Love
So
that.
I use that for my coffee. And I still use it's still
That's
like
cute.
it's I put those forks in our everyday use every now and then. I pull it out and it just makes me smile. I have recently pulled out my cake cutter and just started, rocking it like at
That's cute.
yeah, like at like birthday parties
Yeah.
or family. Like I host that, for Christmas and Easter. So I'm just like, you know what, we're just gonna use this. What else have I mean, so much stuff is sitting in a box for my girls just to have one day, and they're probably gonna open up and be like, why did mom keep this ribbon? But
Well, I did love what you
yeah.
said about using it because a lot of this stuff does sit in a box. So
Yes.
if
Yes.
there's something that can be used in your everyday, pull it out. Put it
Yeah.
on display. Like have it be a part of your life, especially when, I don't know, I think it's really beautiful like having kids and just having them be able to see like, oh, this is the
Yeah.
fork from the wedding. Instead of opening it maybe like once in their lifetime before it's their turn to get
Yep.
married and just seeing it in a box, it's almost like it's too special, where of course it is special, but it's even more special if it's part of your life. It's something that they get to experience too, because in your situation they weren't there, but sometimes they are, and sometimes they're not. So I think that's really nice. I like that sentiment of using it and not just keeping it as like, this is the most sacred fork that we've
Yeah.
ever had, used it once.
Yeah, I thought of something else that I forgot to mention, that I took the papers, like the cards that we wrote our vows on, and I framed those with some like pieces of the flowers and ribbon and stuff. So I have like on our wall a frame of like our
Love
our
that.
I love
vows, and I'll
that.
just read them from time to time, and it makes me so happy.
I love
Love
that.
that.
Yeah.
I wanted to reuse my dress, but multiple times I purposely picked out a dress that I'm like, I can use this. It's timeless. I can use this at this, and this. I can hem this and do this with it. But because it rained and I was too busy dancing, I fell. It's all muddy, and it's like Italian satin. It's just never, like, the mud stains are there forever.
Yeah.
But was it worth it?
Absolutely.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
That's all
But I
that
can't
matters.
reuse my dress. And I wanted to. Like, I was that person. I was like, I'm going to make my
Yeah.
daughter a dress with
Yeah.
this.
Well, you could do like a little hair clip out of a piece of it that's not muddy.
True
you know,
story.
Yes.
There's
I
ways you
could.
could
I could.
still do something with it.
Yeah.
I could. It's sitting in a box.
Good.
Okay. So what we're going to do is going to take a quick break, and then when we get back, we're going to run through these some more. These are good.
I love
Yeah,
it.
Yeah.
I appreciate you being here. And hey, if you like what you're hearing, I encourage you to check out our website at sarahzarella.com. And don't forget, you can actually subscribe to this podcast wherever you're listening so you never miss an episode. And I would so appreciate if you left a fabulous review on Apple Podcast. Even better, share it with a friend. It's a great way to show your support. And now, let's get back to the episode. Well, welcome back to Wedding Secrets Unveiled, podcast friends. So before the break, we were just having rapid fire questions. So we're just going to keep going.
Let's do it.
All right. Next one. Is it weird to have two wedding bands or ring jacket or stack bands?
Like for wedding rings.
Mm-hmm.
I personally just have one, but I have the one that like matched my my engagement ring, but I mean, the hope is that over the years and the decades that we're married, that I would upgrade and get more for a little stack there. But I've seen couples that on their wedding day, they like, especially if the diamond or stone is like a diamond or a starburst shape or like a unique shape. Sometimes they don't just want a band on one side. They'll put a band on both sides so that it's more symmetrical.
That's what I was gonna say. I've seen it where our couples who have a unique shaped diamond, they usually have the ring jacket.
Yeah.
Stack has been a trend.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny because I have a solitaire with one band myself, and I've multiple times have gone into the store to look at stacks, and I just ultimately I don't pull the trigger because it just looks so nice with just a band.
Yeah.
Just a band.
I think I have short fingers too as well.
That's right. Okay, is that why? Because I have short fingers. It doesn't look as pretty as I seen the stacks on other people. So I think it depends if do you have sausage fingers or not.
Well, to jump on the trend thing, I have seen a lot of people actually getting married before the wedding date.
True. Yeah.
So I know some people who have a band from the day they actually got married, whether that be a year or however long before, and then they get one on their wedding date. So they have, a little symbolic of their legal marriage, whether it be courthouse or whatever, and then their, ceremonial family marriage, and then the engagement ring. So not weird at all. I don't think weird is the right word. I think it's whatever fits you and the situation that you're in.
Yeah. All right. What's your favorite wedding month?
Mm-hmm.
I got one.
I always thought I would get married in October, but love her. My best friend got married the October that I was date. So October was out, and then our venue had a cancellation, and because we weren't going to be able to get married there because they were booked full, and then they had a cancellation in August. So I got married in August, and I loved it, but also I don't want it to be too hot. So I would say like October, September in New England is just perfection.
So my favorite month to get married and favorite weekend to get married, I'm going to really bring it down to a science, is the third week in September.
Yeah. Amazing.
Don't even ask me. It's a whole other podcast episode of why I feel like that is the best time, but it really is. I mean, I can go back and gosh, I'm going to jinx this, knock on wood. Go back to all of our couples, and it's always been a beautiful weekend, sunny, nice, 75, comfortable.
Yeah.
I really wanted that date. Obviously, when I got married, I already had weddings booked that date because that is like the number one date to get married.
For real.
Yeah.
So the next thing was Labor Day weekend. I just ultimately wanted to be a September bride. And of course, that was like the 1 year where like Labor Day was on the 31st, like September 1st. So like I got married on the 31st. And I was like an August bride. I'm like, I'm not a September bride. My husband's like, but you are at 12 midnight. I'm like, yeah, I am.
So funny.
It was, so I mean, I am seeing a trend where people are really stacking the weddings. It used to be always the fall. Obviously, summer is always still a popular time. I mean, it's always going to be, but they were stacking it in the fall. Now they're stacking it in the spring.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was going to say June or September in this region. I think both of them, have similar weather patterns. Typically September does run the risk of a little bit more of like being in hurricane season and all that stuff, but you hire the right professionals and they'll be able to get you through it.
And insurance.
But I guess we don't have to always speak regionally because there's a bunch of different weather types, across this beautiful country. I went to a wedding in March in Florida, and it was just the perfect weather.
Mm-hmm.
It was stunning. I was like, if I lived down here, this is absolutely when I would get married. So I would think about just when are your guests going to likely be the most comfortable and go from there, depending on where you live.
Yep.
Okay. What is effectively yet lighthearted way to announce an unplugged ceremony?
That's great.
You want a really blunt way of doing it? Ask your officiant to have everybody take out a camera, take a selfie of them, text it to you, and then put those cameras away.
Yes.
There you go.
That's so
Like
funny.
that
I thought you were just gonna say have the officiant tell them to put it away, but I'm obsessed with that. That's so funny.
You like that one?
Yeah, I just think that the officiant should take the lead and just say like, hey, this is an unplugged ceremony. Take the time to turn those phones off, whatever. It gives everyone a conscious moment. Like if the person next to you is putting their phone away, you kind of look like a jerk if you're not putting your phone away.
Fair.
I've seen, signs that say like, welcome to blank and blank's unplugged ceremony. We've hired wonderful photographers. Please go ahead and put it away. So I think You can have a sign, you don't have to have a sign, but just a verbal reminder right before the music cues go off, I think is really helpful. You can have, if you have anybody passing out programs, you can have them mention it as well. Get some cute kids handing out those programs, say no phones, like that would be adorable.
Yeah.
So just kind of little ways and in multiple ways is also fine.
Yep. Yeah, multiple ways. I mean, I've seen it in the program. I've seen people announce it. The officiants announce it in a nice way, or the priest has announced it, signs. But also, too, for our listeners, if you are going to a wedding and truly there is that announcement or sign, you really should respect it. I've seen so many people just sneak a little picture here and there, and you don't realize there's so many layers of why someone wants that. It could be as simple as they have photographers there and they don't want your phone in it. Sure, great. But a lot of other things is they don't want pictures of their ceremony taken and posted, or they just don't want pictures of their ceremony in general. And I can get into levels of why people don't want that, but they just don't. They want you to be in the moment, present. So it's a complete disrespect, and I hate to be like the party pooper, but it's such a disrespect if people have asked you not to and you do. And I've seen it happen a lot of times. And anyway, I digress. But there's a lot of people who don't say that, and it's like fair game, and they welcome all those photos. Yeah. Okay. How much time off should I take before the wedding? Ooh.
That's a great question.
Yeah, this is a great question. Well, I think it depends on if you have to travel. Obviously, if you have to travel, you got to make yourself enough time to get there. And then with traveling, if you're traveling for your wedding, make sure that you have enough time in case your flight gets canceled or your ferry gets canceled. Please don't book yourself traveling on the day of your rehearsal. Just don't do it. It's too much stress. As far as taking work off, I guess that kind of depends on your job flexibility. Like if you can take off a whole week and still kind of be able to be reached via email and you're comfortable with that, fine. I would say at the very least the day before the rehearsal, take that off. Just be present, be able to relax. If there's any last minute things you need to do, fine. If somebody needs to get a ride from the airport, you don't have to do it yourself, but you can be around to make sure that they're picked up at the airport. I think at least a day before the rehearsal is really important. And if you have the flexibility, take the week, relax. If you're getting married on a Saturday, you might not have to take the whole entire week, maybe like Thursday through the weekend. I'm a Friday bride, so I'm probably going to be taking at least, Wednesday through the weekend. So take the time that you need to get everything done and not be stressed out. Like really just give yourself that time. And also if people are traveling here for your wedding, they want to see you more than just on the wedding date. So if you can be around, that's awesome. If you can't, obviously they'll understand, but try to be around for those people who are traveling.
Yep. And we just did an episode on the last minute things before leading up to your wedding. And there's so many of those things that just pop up the week of your wedding. So I think that's a really great advice. I did that. I was a Saturday bride, so our rehearsal was on Friday. And then we also, because people were flying in from out of town, had my bachelorette party on Thursday. So I took off Wednesday. So that was like my day before. Yeah. And I wished that I had taken off one more day because I'm standing at work, like, writing down my to-do lists and all the I just was not
How
there.
productive are you really gonna be?
Exactly. So I would say if you can, even one more day.
Yeah. I agree.
And this kind of wraps up a couple of the questions, looping it back around. Everybody's different, but so like we got married. So, what's your favorite month to get married? We got married on Labor Day weekend. That was important to us because we had a lot of out of town guests. So I wanted to make it a weekend affair. I wanted to be with my guest, not just on the day. Because honestly, on the day of your wedding, you're not with them, which kind of goes back down to like, anyway, maybe I digress. But, and also too, let me bring it back to full swing. Is a wedding worth it? This is really when you're like starting to realize, is a wedding worth it? And so you just need some time, like Kathryn, you said, you're just doing your to-do list. There's a lot going on. You have a bunch of people coming in town. It's your hot button. You know what though? So I just kind of just sprung this on in my head. I think we're just going to make this a 2-part series because I love that. We're only halfway into our questions.
We've got more to say.
Perfect.
We're going to wrap up this episode. Yeah. We're not going to do the wrap up question.
All right, sounds good.
Because you guys have to come back and do in 2 weeks from now. Absolutely. Listen to part 2 of our questions. So for our listeners, just tune in a couple
Yeah.
weeks, right?
Yeah, tune in next week or 2 weeks from now, to hear the second part of the episode. But make sure you check us out on YouTube.
I
So
love how you just took my
maybe
lead there, Kathryn.
that-
We're gonna wrap
I
up
was like,
at 2.
I got you. We've worked together long enough.
Yeah. So take the lead, Kathryn.
Yeah, so check us out on YouTube, and maybe next week's episode you can watch on YouTube. And also make sure that you download the episodes. That really helps out. And like and subscribe and all the things wherever
These
you
are
listen
great
to podcasts.
questions. So
Yeah.
you have awesome listeners.
And you're coming
Yeah.
back, Abby. So for our
Yes.
listeners, though, can you tell our listeners where they could find you, Abby?
Yeah, absolutely. So my website, or I don't know if I've even said my business name.
Go for it.
It's Blush and Coral Hospitality. So my website is blushandcoral.com. My Instagram for bachelorette parties is @batchnewport. I don't just service Newport, but it's a very catchy name, so I
Yeah.
love it. And then for weddings, it's Blush and Coral Weddings.
And then you can also catch Abby in her episode with Kathryn and I on our episode show notes, which you can find on our blog and podcast page, which is sarahzarella.com/podcast. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to Wedding Secrets Unveiled. I appreciate you being here. And hey, if you enjoyed this episode, I want to tell you something. I encourage you to check out our website at sarahzarella.com. We love photographing while having fun, of course. Check out our podcast page on our website for our show notes along with upcoming episodes with your local wedding experts. Listen in as we help you plan your epic event. And don't forget that you can actually subscribe to this podcast wherever you are listening so you never miss an episode. I would so appreciate if you left a review for us on Apple Podcasts. Even better, share it with a friend. It's a great way to show your support and let us know what you think. If you know any wedding experts that would like to be a guest, we have a link directly on our website where they can let us know. Thank you for listening.